very intimidating, but I think the San Diego side is up for the challenge. And that's a nice kick to start this one off. And immediately, nice kick to touch, just about at midfield.
Well, we've had the wind going left to right today. It's really died down, but I think it's still there a little bit. So far, the last two games have been very heavily wind-aided.
In the Ignatius Harriman game, a team didn't score when they were against the wind.
That's right. And in the last game, it was just one try went against the wind. So that's going to be a factor, I think, to keep an eye on.
And a little mishap in the lineup, but San Diego will retain possession. And some great line speed from the Charlotte Cardinals there, as you can see. Good leg drive there. Looked like he was offsides, but he gets the kick away regardless. And it looks like there's a penalty awarded to Charlotte. Might have been in front of the kicker.
I saw the signal. It might also have just been impeding. Just offside. Just plain old commoner garden offside. Nothing wrong with that.
There's definitely some action along the wing that could have been impeding, but they get him for the offsides penalty. And I'm interested to see what Charlotte's going to do here. I expect they'll maul. I mean, they're a very large team. And we'll see if they're going to test out their maul here. First line out of the day for Charlotte. And they do. And it is moving. Nice job by San Diego to shut that down before they get too close to the try line. But another good unders line there. And really quick ball here from Charlotte. And that pass just goes out of bounds. Maybe played a little too quick for their own good, but
he was bursting onto that ball. He gets that in his hands. I think he's in.
Yeah, there was not a lot of bodies out there to stop him. I think they would have had at least a 2-on-1, maybe a 3-on-1, but does not go for Charlotte. And it looks like a maul of their own there. Ball is held up. And it looks like the Charlotte Cardinals have possession.
Ooh.
And nice kick through. Wow. Try is awarded. Beautiful.
Zach to Max. One brother to the other. Right on it.
To execute there. And Zach,
that ball out of the breakdown.
Yeah, I could not tell you how exactly that happened, but
something sneaky.
Yeah.
A good sneaky.
And the kick is up.
Perfect.
And it is right down the middle. 7-0 Charlotte Cardinals.
Big start for Charlotte with that,
And yesterday, the Charlotte Cardinals won their game 34-5 over Okapi from Florida. And the San Diego Mustangs had a nail-biter over Pendleton Boys A-side, winning 33-31 yesterday.
That was a really entertaining game. And against Okapi, Cardinals were defending their line for quite a bit. And they were just able to do that. Okapi could not finish on them, scored only the one try.
Really. And again, they go for the maul. Just vicious from Charlotte, trying to rip that ball away like they did last time. Looks like San Diego retains possession this time. And it'll be Charlotte ball.
So there what happens is if you stop the ball, then the defensive side ends up getting the put in on the scrum. A maul can often be stopped if it just sort of falls over and the ball doesn't come out. If you haven't collapsed the maul and it falls over because the offensive team just drives it into the ground or loses their footing, well, that's just tough. You have to get the ball available.
And you could just sit there. You don't have to roll away in a maul like you do on a regular tackle.
Right, so it's down. The maul is fallen, but just lie there and make sure the ball doesn't come out.
I think a lot of people, when they watch rugby for the first time, the maul is something especially confusing. But it's a great way, especially when you're in your opponent's side, to kind of get a go forward before you start your set piece. And there is definitely a risk to it, but if you're able to pull it off and you practice it a lot, then it could be very successful. And wow, that was another great kick there, like we talked about. Flip the field and a nice tackle as well. A lot of space here on this left side, but the ball does not get there. And it'll
got to be careful. Some tall players coming in upright to make those tackles, trying to smother the ball. But that hand slips up near the shoulder area or the neck area. It's going to be a high tackle penalty.
We saw it last game. These refs and the assistant refs are all...
Coach Ramon Samaniego with an underhand flip to get that ball to the line out. That was a pretty nice little move from Ramon.
Looked like they were going to go for the maul there, but they get the ball out.
Yeah, I absolutely love that when you set up for the maul and then you don't do it and everybody is worried about the maul and then you spin it wide. They did very well there, but another penalty on the defensive side for Charlotte. That's a tough kick to make.
And it stays in. That is really unfortunate there for San Diego. And a really nice exit kick there.
Wide, young players can enhance their skills and reach the next level. Join PR7s for their inaugural development camp in Kansas City from July 23 to 25, where you'll be working on rucking, scrummaging, kicking, tackling, and more.
Really nice quick hands there. And a nice step there. And he is away and under the post. Wow. Beautiful try there.
Brilliant work just to get that ball cleanly down the line and then all the way out to Braden Scott. Braden Scott scored quite a few tries there for the Mustangs.
There's nice quick hands there from the 12, Grant Gankars. That was a fantastic flip with a big body right in front of his face, gets the ball out to his winger, and his winger is able to capitalize and get the ball under the posts. Let's hope San Diego is able to convert.
Taking a little bit further distance so it doesn't get charged down.
There was a curious charge down in the last game. He started advancing very slowly, and if you didn't watch the last game, the Woodlands player was able to come up and...
Our sevens as caps at Premier Rugby Sevens.
Nearly another high tackle, and they will play the advantage. Again, Charlotte just got to get a little lower. Being the taller team, it's often difficult to get down to the hips every time. And a little kick through there, given the advantage. And
discipline immediately is hurt Charlotte. That try can be directly linked to ill discipline. And now they make another high tackle they didn't need to make. It wasn't really necessary. And that's not going to help them at all.
Especially forcing San Diego back deep into their own half. You can't really have a penalty in that spot.
And there, just a little talk to the captain, and Zach Colson's going to tell everybody, hey, keep the tackles low. That's a good refereeing, but it also gives them all a warning. Eventually, you're going to start seeing cards if there are too many repeated high tackles.
Again, I talked about this at the end of last game, but something that I find really awesome about rugby that I think other sports should take up is the subjectivity of it, of the reffing and how the refs communicate.
It's a violent sport at times. So if you manage that, you don't want people angry by just saying, hey, if you keep doing this, you're going to have problems. How about you stop it? This is exactly what I don't want to see. That's good refereeing. It's a good steal from the line out for Charlotte.
Going to the settle ball and getting it out.
Oh, no wrap. Definitely a no wrap tackle. We're going to see a card here.
Yeah, that's a dangerous spot to be put in.
There's no doubt. That's a no doubter, and it was high degree of impact. So yes, I think that, and it was right in front of the referee. I don't think there's any doubt on that one.
Yeah. I mean, without pads, you just can't be having tackles like that where you just throw your shoulder in. Now Charlotte with a great...
So Jonathan Solomon on Nate Rawls. Solomon sits down for 8 minutes. Usually 10 minutes, but this is a 60-minute game, so we bump it down to 8.
And Colby Marr with the throw-in.
Lost it. Execution in your attacking lineout like that. You need to win those lineouts.
Good tackle there. That was number 14, Braden Scott. Great job to kick chase there. But again, Charlotte with possession. Approaching the San Diego 22.
There it is.
I think Charlotte finds their success when they start running downhill and don't try to shuffle the ball like they have been. I mean, you could see there, the 10 dished a great ball to a hard line. He was able to advance, and they get the penalty awarded to them.
There's loose ball in the end, and a San Diego player dove on the ball. There's nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to dive on a ball on the ground and then just sort of place it as if you're in your ruck. But what he did instead of making the ball available, he dove on the ball and then kept his body on top of the ground.
Back to try and take a 10-7 lead. And again, this is Zach Colson. That great fly half for Charlotte. It is up. And no good. Looks like it hit the post. Definitely had the distance. That wasn't a question. Charlotte keeping the pressure on.
That's good hard carry.
And got vertical really quickly, and nice hands there. Charlotte's working fast now. You can see that hard work on the ground when they go down, getting the ball back quickly for their scrum half. Really nice effort tackling there, trying to drive him into touch. Just hard collision after hard collision.
Not a good pass, and then coming in to pick it up, that was Will Keebler, and Will was in an offside position. He was in front of the player who had just kicked the ball, so that's an offside penalty. And that pattern was going well, but then just a little bit of
the ferocious Cardinals attack. And the four-man line out here. Nice and simple. Again, San Diego now playing some quick ball of their own. And there's been much less interaction at the breakdown than the previous matches we've seen. Relatively clean, protected ball, not a lot of poaching.
No, they're just content to make the tackles spread out and try to force an penalties, then maybe just don't even try.
Additionally, when you try the breakdown, like you were saying, it prevents you from being out in the line, in the defensive line.
Correct.
But the downside of that is that it allows the other team to play quick ball like we've seen from both sides. And, wow, that's a really nice high kick. Caught cleanly. Looks like they'll retaliate kick. Playing some ping pong.
This is nice from Charlotte.
Oh, really nice dummy there. Would have been a great offload, just a little bit off his target.
That was a terrific rescue from Keebler. Well, they're looking for that tips pass, but the timing is just a little bit off in those pods. And if you overrun your guy like that, what's happened is he's isolated, and that's what happens there as a penalty. That's when they went for the poach, because he was isolated, and they could get the penalty.
It's all about being opportunistic with poaching the ball. If there's already a couple guys over the ruck, there's no point in trying to counter ruck, force something. But when there's a man like that isolated, you might as well go for it. And in this case, we saw the not releasing call. And San Diego, now not a lot of time left in this first half. And this will go to touch. And Jonathan Solomon had that high tackle that got carded nearly 8 minutes ago. He'll be back on soon. And another nice, simple line out for San Diego.
It's a good carry from Kai Caulfield.
Aside from the one try that San Diego has on that ball that got to, there he is, number 14, Braden Scott, the Charlotte Cardinals defense has been pretty stoic this far, not letting up much. And all these meters that San Diego is gaining, they're making them well earned. A really nice dummy there.
Rocco Poole making a half break. It's a good sequence from San Diego with them not making a lot of ground. And there, finally, they don't get somebody over the ball in time. And that's a good steal for Charlotte. I think, though, overall, San Diego will be pretty happy with this half and how things are going.
MLR, Major League Rugby, the home of professional 15s rugby in the USA, is a supporter of the boys at full strength for 8 minutes. That was
we've got to be close to halftime here. It's been just about 30 minutes and not too much in the way of stoppages, thankfully.
And Charlotte will maul. Not moving too well. Again, San Diego just sitting inside that maul. Don't have to clear. And penalty awarded to Charlotte. And this is probably the last scoring opportunity Charlotte will have before half. Probably looking to kick to touch and then maul again.
Too far to the side of the field, I think, for a shot at goal. Colson did miss that shot earlier, although that was more in front of the post. And my feeling is right in front of the post for those long-range kicks is actually extremely difficult. But this makes sense. If they can get over the line, they still have a ways to go, about 12 meters or so. That would be a big boost for the Cardinals. Not clean win, but they won it. Oof.
Big bump there.
Yeah, but he lost the ball.
Hard run. Way to stay in, though. Did not back down. And he ran so hard he lost the ball. And San Diego will kick. Doesn't get to touch. And another hard collision there.
Good take by Beyond Bembry. Here we go. I think we're going to see a penalty there. That looked to me like a high challenge. It was a good run from Kai Campbell.
Nice look there along the sideline. Not a lot of space, but he saw there weren't any San Diego bodies along there. Dished it, and he had a lot of room to run.
So another discussion. I don't know if we're going to see a card or just a warning. I love it when referees go to their pocket, but then they don't pull anything out. They just get you worried about it.
And there is a card. So Charlotte will be a man up. Once more, it'll be 8 minutes again.
Is that Solomon again?
I believe it is.
Yep. Red card. So 2 yellow cards. That is a red card. And here, one of the things that they're doing in this tournament, they do something called a soft red. So if you are yellow carded, say, twice for technical things like consistent killing the ball or consistent offside, and it's really a team yellow, they'll hold up a yellow and a red. What that means is you're red carded for this game, but you can come back tomorrow. That's not what we saw here. That was a straight red card because it was a yellow card for a no wrap and a yellow card for either a no wrap or a high tackle. Those are foul play yellow cards. He is red carded. Solomon's out for the tournament.
Real unfortunate there.
Very unfortunate. Not a particularly smart tackle. He didn't need to make it that difficult, and that is going to be very tough on the Mustangs from here on out. He's just been on the field for about a minute and a half. He comes in and does it again.
Let's see if this San Diego defense can hold up again. Now down a man for the rest of the match, I believe, with that red card. And the ball pops out of the scrum. Great pass there. And another hard run. Keeps the leg drive going. Space on the wing. Tries to get it. Hit hard.
There's a knock on, just a straight knock on, and we're just waiting to see if the referee's going to say full time on the halftime. But no, one more move, and I think Charlotte will take that. They'll take a scrum 5 on the right-hand side all day, especially seeing as now San Diego has to match up. Well, what they need to do is they need to guard against an 8-man pick. Is what they have to do.
Yeah, Nate Rawls, the 8-man for Charlotte. He's tough to bring down.
Well, it came right out the back too quickly for an 8-man pick. Here we go. Well, they put Rawls in the line, is what they did. Try.
Really good move there. Finlay Mitchell, the 13, great finish at half.
Well, they ran Nate Rawls off, affect him, then that's a big one. I mean, with the red card and then the try right before halftime, I'm pretty sure we're at halftime now, Owen, and it's now they've got the lead. Charlotte, they're looking at saying, okay, you know, they've got the momentum. San Diego has to regain that very, very quickly now. They're kind of probably hoping that the wind picks up, gives them a little bit boost.
And Colson to put up the conversion to make this a 7-point lead. It is up, and it is good. 14-7, Charlotte Cardinals.
I think we're going to go for the kickoff. I think we have time.
I'm not sure what time this game kicked off at, but it feels like it's been a very long first half, especially considering there haven't been injuries to slow down the game. And a beautiful kick there. Nice step there. Gets brought down. Oh, nice chip kick over the top. The box kick from the scrum half.
That might be a try.
And it is a try. That is, wow.
So many big things happen in that. First of all, the steal in the breakdown. Cardinals took that ball and immediately great awareness. Head, there's a tap on it. Colson that on that kick, which was a great kick. Breakdown. So really,
time is left before half, but goal to do. And we saw San Diego find success earlier in the game when they had their first yellow card, but now down a man for the rest of the match. It's going to be pretty tough. And that conversion is no good, so it'll be 19-7. And there's the halftime call. Start the second half.
Their brand because make it a fair, even game, especially with.
Tell me a lot. Bigger athlete, stronger athlete, and just overall BCAs.
The ball is a conductor of the orchestra. The technology and the innovation.
The sport that you love. Players, major stars, Major
League Rugby is partnered with U18.
Content you want, live and on demand. Never miss a hit.
It's on for brotherhood.
And the San Diego Mustangs. To start the second half, it is 19-7 Charlotte. But with just about 2 minutes to go in that first half, it was a tied game. And things kind of started getting out of hand for San Diego. So he's out, putting the Charlotte Cardinals attack to rest. San Diego will receive.
San Diego's back at 14. Interestingly. I'm not sure if that was 8 minutes, but I count 14 on the field right now.
They had a second yellow card while they were already down a man. So
right, and he came back.
You'd think it would be 13.
Seemed a little quick, but that's all right. We've already discussed my poor sense of time. Oh, there's a charge down. We've had a few of those today, actually, and a couple of other games. A crucial one for Greenwich to put charging on, players are just creeping up a little bit close to the scrum half because they want to be sure of the pass, want to be sure of the kick. Well, that makes it easier to charge down. That was really nice pressure play from Charlotte.
And San Diego again with the line out and a low kick, fielded cleanly. Really nice moves. Drifting across the entire field. Pass does not go to hand. Really nice step. Nice couple of moves there. The Charlotte 13 and 14, that's Finley Mitchell and Luke Zemke. Really making moves on the field, dancing around defenders. And it looks like it's picked by Keebler, and it is a try.
They just didn't stop. They just said, let's take it to them. Let's play fast. That was really good, exciting rugby, making those defenders chase him.
And again, that's Zach Colson, the fly half, kicking the conversion. Keeps it real quick. And
academies in South Wales in this great rugby nation. Learn more at greatfallsrugby.com/UXI-USA or email Gary at greatfallsrugby.com.
And I think if you're San Diego here, you really got to get control of this ball. Can kind of feel it start to get away from them a little bit, because a team like Charlotte is really tough to come back from. And now down 19. They need something pretty soon. And that is a nice grubber there. Goes into touch. Smart play.
Yep. I think they do need something really soon, but I think they also have to not think in terms of the total deficit.
Switch up their game plan. I think a lot of teams switch to like frantic play when they're down, especially a margin like this. But when you play like that, that can often lead to like worse play and not playing your game. So I think if they stick to what they're good at and just keep it simple. I love from the San Diego team how simple their lineouts are. Hitting that first or second guy almost every time. Keep it really nice, snappy, clean. And they've done a really good job of keeping their own lineouts.
You see Charlotte now coming up really fast on defense, trying to meet the Mustangs before the gain line. Colson making a couple of big hits there.
Just swarmed after picking the ball there. And that, not the ideal play there, but a great job to keep it in. That was number 11, Preston Wilson. Just an effort play there. And he goes for a box kick. Does not work out, and that ball is cleared out. Nice kick there across midfield.
That was actually a pretty brilliant kick for Colson to do.
Really hard collision again, and a knock-on. Dylan Trower there received the ball and was met by two ferocious shoulders, and ball pops out. It'll be a scrum to Charlotte.
So that's the younger brother, Max Colson, who got that pass from Bembry and managed to force a knock-on. So suddenly turned a really dodgy situation into a scrum in the middle of the field for Charlotte.
I find it interesting how there's not a single player on this side of the scrum for either team. Actually, the scrum half moved away for San Diego now, but nice boot there. Being chased down, number 22 there, Davion Nabar.
Well, San Diego's not really getting anywhere, so they're going to have to kick it, but they're kicking it to a couple of very skilled players, the Colson brothers.
And the high kick there by Colson just lets Charlotte run right back up on him. And penalty awarded to San Diego.
When Charlotte was in trouble and things were going well for San Diego, Charlotte was committing penalties. So it stands to reason they have to avoid that, do the Cardinals, if things are to do well. And Mustangs have to put Charlotte under pressure such that they feel that they have to commit certain penalties or risk it.
Really nice tackle there.
Oh, here he goes.
Keebler with the pick.
This is brilliant stuff. This is great. Good support running from Sean Butler, the flanker, but he was isolated in the end. That's a little bit of, what do I call it, snarkiness from Colby Marr. He took the ball away and then just let it sort of chip away. I would have marched off another 10 meters for that. It's not really necessary.
Ball's headed right toward us. And nice kick there. Gets it about to midfield. Line out. Looks like they're going to bring in 6. Charlotte will have to match. A beautiful looking set piece there.
Okay.
And look at the wheels. And the penalty awarded to Charlotte.
Yeah, it was a knock-on, just maybe a forward pass. I think that was the call, a forward pass. That looked very promising for the Mustangs.
That was the best-looking set piece we've seen from them thus far today. And that was a really good-looking set piece. Number 10, the fly half, Rocco Poole, came all the way around. He looped around both of his centers to get that ball and dish it to the wing. Unfortunately, not the outcome you want with the knock-on.
Number 21, Jacko Ahoy, is coming on for the Cardinals, the son of Jacko Ahoy Sr., who is a coach with the Cardinals, and he was a long-time high-level player when he goes onto the field.
The Charlotte.
And that's a shame to see a player get injured at this stage. Jacko Poole, the fly half, and there's his father David out there in the lighter blue baseball cap.
Yeah, and while it has been
that's a shame.
It has been a pretty tough game for San Diego this far.
Big blow for a Mustangs team that is having a rough game in regard to setbacks. Red card, then a yellow card. So 3 yellow cards for them, and now an injury to their captain.
It looks like Charlotte's going to boot the ball downfield. It's caught cleanly. Running sideways.
Outstanding chase from Charlotte.
Looked like that little moment of indecision there for San Diego. Not going to hurt them too bad, as it'll be a penalty awarded to them. But it looked like he wasn't sure if he wanted to carry that or pass that ball.
Yep.
He kind of passed it at the last second. But luckily, it didn't end up hurting them too bad. They'll have a line out just beyond midfield. And the hooker, Carson Palmberg, ready to throw it in their 5-man lineout. Or, sorry, 4-man lineout. A little bit of a handling error.
Well, the timing's all off now. Dylan Trower going in for Poole as the first receiver, and that he wasn't where they're used to. That Kurt is used to seeing him, so that went behind him, and then another pass, and the timing is just all off now.
I mean, it all kind of starts with that first receiver and playing just mess up the timing and mess up an entire set.
The angles, how quickly do they start to run? How quickly does he run? Is he standing still? All of those things, you start to sense it. You don't even have to think about it when you've been practicing with the same player time after time, but then you lose it in the middle of a really crucial game with a very strong defensive team coming up in your face. It's just very difficult.
And tough tackle there after a lineout goes awry for Charlotte. And they're just going to send it to the forwards. And the boots that ball.
Yeah, that's just not going to get anything done for the Mustangs, unfortunately. And they're stuck back there. They kind of have to kick it, but they're not getting anything. They do get a penalty all the way back together. They are getting hit this weekend. Has been really stellar.
And when we have seen San Diego get the ball moving, like we had toward the beginning of the game when they tied it up, we saw a really nice set of phases. It's mostly been kicking or hitting the forwards, settling, and playing out of their own half. And it's just really tough to do.
We are having a big discussion between the referee and the assistant referee about something that happened. And we're going to have a bit of a discussion. And it's going to end up being a penalty against San Diego.
Wow. Not a lot going their way right now.
No wrap tackle. And that's...
Whether you want to take your team to Ireland, experiences, and dedicated tour assistance, go with the experts at IrishRugbyTours.com. Again, that is IrishRugbyTours.com. And this is not an easy kick here.
But it bleeds some time off the clock. It keeps the ball in the San Diego end.
Zach Colson, the kick is up. And no good. And it looks like San Diego wanted to play that.
You're right. That's a very good observation. Instead of tapping and bashing, why don't we just take some time? Rest. You feel like you're going to make that final.
San Diego calling for a knock on there.
I think that was fine.
Yeah,
I would say that's fine. Well, but he did the same thing over there and then called for the mark and said, hey, if you say, and the referee said, okay. I said that was an okay catch, so that's an okay catch, and they're going to let him call for the mark.
It's always sort of awkward catching the ball against the ground like that. You can't tell if they knock it forward or not. And that is knocked forward. Nearly kept it in.
The AR says it went out. But, the in touch, it's out of bounds. You can stand there and then jump up and then hit the ball while you're in the air and knock it back in. That's okay. That's allowed. That's something you're allowed to do.
We've seen a couple of those today, keeping the ball in play.
It's a big play. If you can do it just once at a crucial moment, it can be really effective.
And it also puts more pressure on the fly half or whoever's kicking to touch to make sure they really get it out and can prevent them from going for those few extra meters when kicking the ball to touch. Nice hard carry there. But the ball will go to the Cardinals. Looks like it popped out in the ruck. And nearly a 50-22, but it bounces back into play rather than into touch. I'm sure this Charlotte Cardinals team has had plenty of 50-22s with those Colson twins back there. Both really talented and good with the kicks.
Well, they'll take this all day. Look, they've got numbers now.
Beautiful pass there, nearly dropped. But there's a 2-on-1 there. And he puts it down for the score.
That's Jacko Ahoy. He had Davion Niebauer on the outside, but he didn't need him. And I would say, yes, for a loose forward, just put your ears back, just on the sideline anyway. We've just not seen them have that quick strike ability. And I think what you're going to see, in fact, is a number of very young-looking San Diego Mustangs come onto the field, including somebody who's wearing the number 8 jersey but is not the number 8 who is red-carded.
I mean, at this point, I think they're putting them in just for the experience, help them learn.
Yep.
Like you said, they're probably younger players.
Remember, there's a game to play tomorrow, regardless of how you do today.
Mm-hmm. And I expect Charlotte to keep making substitutions, try and take out as many starters as possible, because they got a tough matchup tomorrow versus Woodlands for the club championship. That's going to be a fantastic match. And the kick is up.
Beautiful.
And good.
You said you thought Charlotte was going to pull away with this. A lot of people thought it might be close. It turned out not to be. I mean, it's competitive for sure, but San Diego just really struggling to get points.
I think San Diego for the first half, for the first 25 minutes of this game, did a really fantastic job. And I think if a few more things went their way and they didn't have the red card and things like that, this could be a much closer match. Because we saw for the first 25 minutes it was a tie game. And then things just started slipping away from them, started missing tackles, making sloppy penalties. And then, of course, with their starting fly-off, Rocco Poole getting hurt, that just makes things exponentially harder for them. But they definitely put up a really good fight. I mean, this is a Charlotte Cardinals side that is probably one of the biggest and most skilled in terms of, like, kicking and passing ability. And
they're big and powerful as well. And they defend. They take a lot of pride in their defense. The other thing is, you know, we talked about the wind dying down. There's no wind in this game. And the earlier games, there was a significant factor. Like you said, St. Ignatius game against Harriman, where all the points were scored with the wind. And here, actually, what would have been against the wind, that's where we've seen Charlotte score the majority of their tries. It hasn't been an issue now, so that just illustrates what the wind can do.
And
oops,
ooh.
That's going to be all right.
Nope.
That looked like a high tackle to me. I mean, if that's not a seatbelt tackle, I'm not quite sure what the definition is.
A knock-on called on San Diego. Yeah, that's tough right there. The 9 pick, he got picked up. I thought it was a seatbelt tackle as well, but, I mean, from this angle, it's hard to tell. The ref was right there, so.
Ref is closer.
Yep.
And looking at it the whole time.
And a couple of these passes now, which we haven't really seen so far this game, some of these passes are going awry for San Diego. I think it's just a different lineup out there right now. Like we said, some of the younger guys. But you got to respect, I mean, they haven't given up. I think a lot of teams would just, like, in this situation against a team like Charlotte, just give it and start missing, like, tackles, not putting their body on the line. But they're giving it their all. I mean,
yeah, I don't think it's really in their DNA to just sort of capitulate.
Like right there, that was a fantastic tackle there. Number 14, he's a big winger, Luke Zemke. But again at the breakdown, like,
good play.
Another good tackle there. Yeah, San Diego definitely plays with pride. They're not going to give up. Charlotte tries to flip the field. What looks like a knock-on, and it is a knock-on. It'll be a scrum to San Diego. And again, looks like the 8-man, Nate Rawls, is in the back line.
Yeah, they're just setting him up for the first receiver.
Interesting.
Clearly ready to go, but not cleanly won.
Great sky kick again.
And Charlotte really has a good understanding of what they need to do when the ball is kicked. Not only how aggressively they chase, but also how they spread and fill in the different lanes. They've done an excellent job of that. That was a good chase. They were penalized offside at the breakdown. That's something else entirely. But they did clean up their penalties. That was a problem early in the first half. They've cleaned that up significantly.
Gives it a look to maybe try and keep it in, but goes to touch. San Diego now with the line out within the Charlotte 22. Not a lot of time left in this one. Another clean line out for San Diego. That's another thing I really respect this team for, is they've had a fantastic job of their own lineouts today.
They're going to go in.
And that'll be a try awarded.
We're just going to check it first, just to be sure. I thought he had it down pretty cleanly. Yes.
Yep. Try awarded. 33-12 with a chance to convert to make it 33-14. San Diego.
Taking water out. The star and captain of the Charlotte Cardinals girls team, who's off to Cardiff Met after she graduates. She's just running water for the boys team after a really successful season for her squad.
And the kick is up, and it is wide right.
Here on the blue field, we have two more games coming up. Two more Tier 2 semifinals. Now, Wolverines against the SOC Raptors. That's an all-California game. And then we will wrap up the day. St. Joseph's Prep against the Kansas City Junior Blues.
So with the conclusion of this game, given that Charlotte closes this out, the field for tomorrow for the club championship will be the Charlotte Cardinals versus Woodlands High School. And in the single school division, it'll be my school, Gonzaga, versus St. Ignatius, who topped Harriman 18-10.
Really had to work for it, didn't they? So that's going to be a rematch of the 2022 final. And this is those are two teams that play each other every year, have a good rivalry going. So that's going to be for Ignatius. Will be able to play in that game. He was red carded. I don't know if there's going to be a review on that, because there was some discussion as to what exactly happened. And I didn't see it, so all I did was field all kinds of descriptions from different people what happened. And then we're going to find out on the Tier 2 final, which should be a good one.
The lineout is up, and won cleanly by San Diego. And a nice box kick. And a goose step. stays out of touch just barely and then goes out of touch. There's a few minutes left to go. And that line out is nearly stolen by the Charlotte Cardinals, but San Diego will retain possession. And a kick over the top. Hit hard as he collects the ball. Looks like it'll be a Charlotte ball. Never mind, it'll be San Diego. And that ball is lost in contact, and Charlotte takes it. And they're going to play quick here. They see some space on the edge and some nice hands from the forwards. Really nice tackle, but a pop from the ground. Really nice way to play fast there off the turnover. Charlotte Cardinals nearly broke that one all the way. And with time winding down, they're going to elect to play some settle ball. And it looks like they knocked it on, so it'll be San Diego ball. The scrum to San Diego. James Curtis to put the ball in. And a dummy switch pop works to perfection. Will he use his feet? No. Hard collision there. And Charlotte will keep the ball. And looks like he's down on the field. That was Charlotte. And that is the game. So the final in this semifinal matchup is Charlotte.